In this installment, we're going to be going over the NFL bets for Week 11, the early slate. Let's get into it. Hey, yo! Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Chef D, and I'm here to bring you the winning ingredients for our Week 11 early slate we got going on. But before we deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetsJetsD. Don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91. And don't forget about that Patreon. Right now, we're at the homepage of the YouTube channel, currently at 8.64 thousand subscribers. This is the road to 10K, and we're well on our way because you guys are showing up each and every single day. If you already subscribed, continue to like and comment. That helps the YouTube algorithm so we can grow to a much broader audience. All right, speaking of that Patreon, guys, and speaking of the video that we just posted for Thursday Night Football, as you can see, Commanders versus Eagles. That was a complete sweep. I gave you guys Eagles to cover, I gave you Eagles money line, and I gave you the under on the total. Okay, the total was at 49.5 when kickoff started, and that total went all the way to 44. So the under hit. The Eagles covered and won, obviously. So that was a very solid video there. As you can see, I had Eagles on the money line. I had a parlay. This was one of the community parlays. Barkley and Robinson here, 25, and put the boost on it. That came through for 90. And I had a couple separate anytime touchdowns. That was Zach Ertz, came through at plus 350. All right, so very solid wins there on Thursday Night Football. If you want to sign up for winning plays, remember that's located down below in the description. You click on that link for the Patreon, you get signed up, you're getting access to daily bets, future bets, and access to that group chat that goes off 24/7. I'm so excited to announce I have partnered with BetStamp and Sign Up Expert to provide you guys with an easier way to sign up with any sportsbook in your area. If you go to the link in the description down below, you will be directed to this page you see here. It automatically displays all available sportsbooks in your area plus their current promotions. For example, you could take the plays given in this video and apply it to any other sportsbooks you don't currently have and reap the rewards. Now let's get into the slate. First game up on the early slate here, we have the New York Jets at home, 3-7, going against the Indianapolis Colts, 4-6. Looking at the current odds right now, Jets are home favorites, minus 210 on the money line, with the comeback of the Colts at a plus 170. Point spread set at 4, and the total set at 43.5. All right, public bet percentage here, 77% of the bets towards the Jets, but the sharps here, the money is 50-50 down the middle here between the Colts and the Jets here for the point spread. 50% of the bets, 50-50 on the bets. And for the percentage of money, 56% of the money coming in on the Colts here at the plus 4. So sharps are not trusting the Jets here. They're in the middle. They are really mulling this game over right now. For the total points, 73% of the bets are going towards the over, 43.5, and we have 51% of the money going slightly towards the over, 43.5. Looking at the injury report here for the New York Jets, we're starting off at the top here. Devonta Adams is trending towards playing, coming in with that Friday full practice. We had Jake Hansen, backup O-lineman. He's out. CJ Mosley out, and Tyron Smith out at the tackle position. Tyron has been struggling this year, but Olu Fashanu, their rookie tackle that they drafted high in the draft this year in the first round, he's going to be starting in place of him. Positive news on Solomon Thomas. He missed that last game. He's going to be there for the Jets here on that D line. All right, it's going to be very key here to stop the Indianapolis Colts run game. All right, for the Colts, they're going to be without Bernard Raymond here, offensive tackle. He's going to be currently out. EJ Speed is questionable, but it's trending towards playing with that full practice that he got in on Friday. And Michael Pittman looks like he's going to be back as well. All right, so for this matchup here between the Colts and the Jets, a lot of the public and sharps are just sick of the Jets right now. They thought that was a comeback spot against the Arizona Cardinals on the road, but it was an East Coast team going west. Cardinals were playing strong in a very, very tough-minded team there, and the quarterback discrepancy was evident. All right, Kyler Murray was just on a whole entire level, and they were dominated from the beginning to the end of the game. Embarrassing performance here for the Jets. All right, you would think after that performance they would get disrespected on the line, but the line is justifying the Jets even more, going past the 3 points and going all the way to 4. All right, so that's a key number there. Usually when you have home field advantage, it starts around the 3, but it has jumped up over to the 4 here. And Colts have downgraded their quarterback play, going from Joe Flacco back to Anthony Richardson. Obviously, Anthony Richardson, hopefully he has learned something since he has been benched. And this Indianapolis Colts team has struggled the last 3 games against Houston, Minnesota, and Buffalo. So despite the fact the switch to Joe Flacco, who's more efficient with the passing game, it was not enough there to keep the job, and they have gone back to the guy they invested the most of the capital into, and Anthony Richardson here. So we got 2 teams that are really spiraling down right now. Which one can step up? All right, for if we're looking at rushing, passing, it's on the side of the Jets. The Jets have a better pass defense, and the Colts have a poor pass defense. As you can see, 27th pass yards against. And as you can see, Jets are very strong at stopping the pass, even though that's already going to be an issue that they can exploit there for Anthony Richardson, that does have a tendency of turning the ball over. I think they can take advantage of the struggles of Anthony Richardson, okay, being put back as QB1. Also, the Jets defense, the Jets D-line, all right, is top 3 in the league in sacks, 32 overall sacks this year. So that's another positive spot here for the Jets, trying to attack Anthony Richardson, make him uncomfortable. The benefits on the other side here, Colts have struggled against opposing QBs, 23rd overall, 26th in the red zone, giving up almost 250 yards passing and 1.4 TDs per game. If we're looking against fantasy points allowed to opposing running backs, Jets have another advantage here. Colts are 18th overall, but 4th in the red zone, all right? But in total, they're giving up almost 120 yards rushing, all right? The Jets have been a little bit embarrassed the last couple weeks, and they do have to deal with Jonathan Taylor, and that's going to be the benefit, and where the Colts can muster up some offense here is through that running game, because if you can out-physical the Jets, especially in the trenches, then you can kind of dominate in that perspective, all right? So the question mark is, would you trust that 4? No one, a lot of people are not trusting that 4. It is a Colts team trusting Anthony Richardson in this spot, coming back where he's been going for a couple weeks now. We'll see if he matured in that time. But I'm just going to have to go with the Jets here once again. Give me them on the money line. The point spread, I'll take. The point spread is tough. Give me the Jets on the money line. Give me the total on the over 43.5. I do believe that this Jets offense can get going against this Colts team. Maybe we have a little bit of a back and forth, and then the Jets pull away in the 4th. But I'm going to be leaning towards Jets on the money line. Avoid the point spread and the over on the 43.5. In Soldier Field here, we have the Chicago Bears 4-5 going against the Green Bay Packers 6-3. Looking at the current odds we have here right now, Packers road favorites minus 250 on the money line with the comeback of the Bears at a plus 200. Point spread set at 5.5. Total points set at 40.5. Public bet percentage here, 93% of the bets, 98% of the money, all over the Green Bay Packers here in this one. Point spread, 74% of the bets, 87% of the money, all over the Packers to cover by 5.5. And for the total points, 73% of the bets, 62% of the money towards the over 40.5. All right. For the injury report here, the Green Bay Packers are dealing with a few injuries here. Jair Alexander looked like he's going to be fine for this game. Their lead cornerback here, who's been playing phenomenal. Marshawn Lloyd, their third string running back, he's going to be out. Jordan Morgan, tackle / guard, he's going to be out. Colby Wooden is going to be doubtful as well, and a Q tag on Evan Williams. For the Chicago Bears, some key guys out on the offensive line: Tevin Jenkins, and Kyron Amagadish. Amagadish? Kyron is going to be out as well. I tried. All right, Q tags on Tarvarius Moore and Montez Sweat for the D-line. Both of those guys look fine with a full practice in on Friday. This in-division NFC North battle here, the Bears are going through a lot right now. They just fired their offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron, which I seen this coming such a long time. They should have never made the hire. He just got the job, and if you ever paid attention to the Seattle Seahawks last year, you saw that Shane Waldron was an enigma. Shane Waldron was a cancer, and he really suffocated that offense there in Seattle. As you can see, they're phenomenal this year. They've been much improved. You got Geno Smith leading the league. He's top 3 in the league in passing yards as well. That's because Shane Waldron can't run an offense, all right? And he really took away from Jackson Smith and the Jigba there in Seattle, and he brought that over to the Chicago Bears. Why would you bring over why would you bring over Shane Waldron to the Chicago Bears when you have 3 very good wide receivers? You bring over Waldron, he is a cancer to receivers, okay? The offense he runs is predicated around 2 tight ends, all right? That is dumb. Why did you go out and draft Roman Dunze, you go out and get Keenan Allen, and you have DJ Moore already, and you go get a coordinator that plays 2 tight end sets? What are you doing? So Ryan Poles, bad hire, and you want to save him, but like Shane Waldron was just a bad call for the Chicago Bears. Thank God he's gone. This team is going to need time to figure out this offense yet again. They have an interim head coach now. They're going to have to make alterations to this offense and play calling totally across the board. You've already have question marks on the offensive line on that left side with the 2 injuries. And you have a rookie quarterback here in Caleb Williams that has still not matured. And it's already halfway through the season. And he's going to have to build it back up from ground zero here on out. All right. Now you got a Green Bay Packers team that just made an acquisition on the D-line. They're gunning for a high playoff position and trying to get this division as well. And they're coming off an embarrassing loss against the Detroit Lions. This is a complete sweep here. Give me the Packers on the money line. Packers to cover the 5.5. I'm going to lean towards the under in this one. I do not see many points coming from the Chicago Bears side. I think they struggle again. We have another poor performance from DeAndre Swift, who's when he goes up against a very good, a decent run D. Usually it's really on him for not finding rushing lanes, but we're going to go with a complete sweep here. Packers money line, Packers minus 5.5 in the under 40.5. In Ford Field here, we have the Detroit Lions 8-1, the top of the NFC North, going against the Jacksonville Jaguars 2-8. NFC versus AFC battle we got here. Looking at the current odds, Lions minus 1,000 on the money line with the comeback of the Jaguars at a plus 650. Point spread at 13.5 and the total at 47. Public bet percentage here, 97% of the bets, 95% of the money all over the Detroit Lions. For the point spread, 82% of the bets, 89% of the money towards the Detroit Lions to cover almost 2 touchdowns here. And for the total point, 72% of the bets and 70% of the money towards the over 47. All right, injury report here between these 2 teams. Shocking, Sam Laporta, shoulder injury, is going to be out this week. Broderick Martin, I continue to say his name. That's because he's on the IR, so that's why he's there every single week. Okay, safety, Ifatu. He's going to be out. Emmanuel Mosley, cornerback, he's going to be out. Ben Neiman is questionable for the Detroit Lions. So maybe one question mark there in the secondary with Emmanuel Mosley, and then Sam Laporta being out. Obviously will hurt just a little bit, but they're going to be leaning on the plethora of weapons that they have with the Detroit Lions. All right, especially with the opponent that they got going here in the Jacksonville Jaguars. It really wouldn't matter because there's a big injury here as well. Tank Bigsby is going to be out of this game. He's been the better running back between him and Travis Etienne. I almost forgot his name for a second. Ezra Cleveland is questionable. Trevor Lawrence is out, and that's the big injury there. Yet again, Trevor Lawrence is going to miss 2 games in a row. This will be the Mac Jones show yet again, and in a very tough environment, in a very tough game. This does not bode well for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mason Smith questionable, and Keelan Robinson, backup running back, is questionable as well. All right. So Mac Jones, we had that experience last week against the Minnesota Vikings, and they could not move the ball at all. As you can see, they only scored 7 points on that first drive, and then the Minnesota Vikings defense, which is top 5 in the league, shut things down. Now you have a very similar situation here, but in Detroit. So this is even worse situation. Detroit Lions here, very hungry, trying to keep pace here and make sure they solidify obviously a week 1 bye in the playoffs there, and going for a 9-1 right now, and they're on a roll. Okay, beating Dallas, Minnesota, Tennessee, Green Bay, Houston, it doesn't matter. And now we go up against a Mac Jones led offense here in the Jacksonville Jaguars. And this is a very good spot for the Detroit Lions, okay? Looking on the other side, Jaguars. This is the reason why it's a good matchup. The Detroit Lions should blow out this team 110,000%. Jacksonville Jaguars against opposing quarterbacks, 30th overall, 25th in the red zone, giving up almost 272 yards and 2 touchdowns to opposing quarterbacks. If we're looking at the run game, the strong suit of the Lions, because they have that 2-headed monster in David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. Jacksonville Jaguars, 28th overall, 31st in the red zone. All right, second to worst in the red zone. They're giving up 96 yards a game, rushing 4.1 yards a carry, almost a TD a game, and they're giving up a bunch of yards receiving wise. And that bodes well for Jahmyr Gibbs. Super explosive and can take it to the house at any moment. All right. So this is another game here that we're looking at a complete sweep. I'm not even looking at the underdogs here in the Jacksonville Jaguars. Give me the Lions money line. Give me the Lions to cover by 2 touchdowns, probably even more. And I'm going to lean towards this. It could be 47. It's really going to be one-sided for the 47. But I would say over 47, because when it rains, it pours. The Lions, they will not stop scoring, and they will embarrass teams. So they have no problems continuing to run up this ball. Jaguars are going to be forced to try to come back. Give me the over on the 47. In Nissan Stadium here, Tennessee Titans 2-7, going against the Minnesota Vikings 7-2. Looking at the current odds for this one, Vikings are road favorites, minus 250 on the money line, with the comeback of the Titans at a plus 200. Point spread set at 6. Total points set at 39.5. For the full game public bet percentage here, 97% of the bets, 99% of the money, all over the Minnesota Vikings. For the point spread, 81% of the bets, 92% of the money, all over Minnesota to cover the 6. And for the total points, we have 80% of the bets, 78% of the money on the over 39.5. All right. For the Minnesota Vikings here on the injury report, only one out here in Gabriel Murphy, outside linebacker. He's going to be out. Everyone else is fine for the Minnesota Vikings, who came off a very tough, rugged win against the Jacksonville Jaguars. We'll talk about that very soon. Tennessee Titans dealing with a couple guys that are out yet again. L'Jarius Sneed out, cornerback. That's going to be a big loss here. He's been out for the last six weeks. He's been out for the most of the season. Okay, their newly acquired cornerback has been absent with this quad injury. So he's out. Leroy Watson, he's going to be out as well. And we have a Q tag on Justin Hardy. All right. So that leaves this secondary here in a bad situation. We got Jarvis Brownlee here, the rookie, probably going to have to go up against Justin Jefferson. All right. It's going to be between Brownlee and Baker here, the other opposite corner for the Tennessee Titans, going up against the number 1 wide receiver in the league here. Can Sam Darnold get over his little, not saying his yips, but he has struggled the past couple weeks, throwing some interceptions in the last couple games. It wasn't a phenomenal performance against the Jacksonville Jaguars. They certainly should have put up more points than that. They have, not saying it's a better matchup here, but they have an opportunity to take advantage of the Tennessee Titans here in the secondary. All right, that's where the main win is. Tennessee Titans are very stout stopping the run, and they're a pretty tough team. But when it's an upper class here of talent and tier, it's very noticeable. As you can see how they lost to the Chargers by 10 points. Obviously, they got blown out by Detroit. They got blown out by Buffalo. I really think the Minnesota Vikings can put it to them in this spot here. Minnesota and Lions are going back and forth here. This is not a good matchup. When we're talking about Brian Flores, defensive coordinator, high pressure situations, high allotment of sacks, high allotment of interceptions here. Vikings, number 1 in the league in interceptions, number 6 in sacks, and we're talking about Will Levis, who is super turnover prone, and this could be the game where it could get ugly. All right, it really could here. So I'm gonna have to go with the full sweep here and trust in Brian Flores, trust in the number one wide receiver here in Justin Jefferson, and that should be enough for the Vikings to easily get this win here against the Tennessee Titans, even on the road. All right, so Vikings minus 250, Vikings minus 6 to cover the spread. I'm going to go with the over 39.5. I think the Vikings can put up points, and it's going to force the Titans in situations to try to play catch up. And even if you look at that Chargers game, you thought that would hit under. That went over there. That scored 44 points in that one, and you got the total brought all the way down to under 40. I think there's potential here for this total to go above 39.5 points. In Hard Rock Stadium here, Miami Dolphins 3-6 going against the Las Vegas Raiders 2-7. Looking at the current odds here, Dolphins as home favorites here, minus 350 on the money line with the comeback of the Raiders at a plus 280. Point spread set at 7.5. Total points set at 44. All right, for the injury report here, looking at the Dolphins as of right now, we have Kendall Fuller, cornerback, he's out. Major Q tag on Teron Armstead. We'll see if he can give it a go. It's saying that he was given rest. Robert Jones, questionable. Alec Ingold, questionable. Isaiah Wynn, questionable. Patrick Morris, safety, questionable as well. All right, for the Las Vegas Raiders, we got Harrison Bryant, backup tight end, he's out. Nate Hobbs, cornerback, he's out. Andre James is out. Michael Mayer is questionable, but is trending towards playing with a full practice all week long. And Cody Whitehair, center, is going to be out in this one as well. So some major injuries there on the Raiders side. Offensively, on the O-line, a little bit of backup tight end. Couple question marks there. But this is a team here in the Las Vegas Raiders who are coming off a pretty big losing streak here. 5 losses in a row. And some of these losses, they played tough, all right? They played the LA Rams tough, had an opportunity to win. They played Kansas City Chiefs tough, had an opportunity to win, and then got blown out by the Cincinnati Bengals. The key component here in this game, which makes me lean to the underdog here, is that the Raiders are coming off of a bye, and you got the Miami Dolphins coming off a short week. They played on Monday. Quick turnaround. The Raiders have been waiting for this game for the past 2 weeks, watching the Dolphins play against the Rams, and I think they're going to be ready for this game here. And I think the 7.5 is way too confident. All right, I think it's way too confident here. I get it. We saw the Dolphins win against the Rams on the road. Congratulations. You won a little award. These two teams are more similar than you think. All right, so we got a 3-6 team here in Miami, 2-7 team against Las Vegas in the Las Vegas Raiders here, and over a touchdown. We really trust the Dolphins that much? We're just automatically just giving it to them. I say no. I'm going to be going with the underdog here on the Raiders. Like I said, 2 weeks in advance preparing for this game here in the Dolphins, and you got the Dolphins coming in on a short week. It's going to be a very tightly contested game. So give me the Raiders. Have an opportunity to win this game, but the best value here is the plus 7.5. It's just too many points. Too many points here. All right, so Raiders plus 7.5. I'm going to lean towards the under 44, okay? This is going to be a very ugly game, all right? This Dolphins offense, I don't know why people think that Just because Tua is back, it's going to be back to what we saw the previous year. They have a lot of things to fix, okay? And this is going to be a very ugly, slow, methodical run the football defense type of game here. And the Raiders have no problem with sloppy environments, all right? So we're going to go with underdog across the board. Raiders with the opportunity to win. Raiders plus 7.5 in the under 44. In Gillette Stadium here, New England Patriots 3-7, going up against the LA Rams 4-5. Looking at the current odds right now, we have the Rams as road favorites, minus 225 on the money line, with the comeback of the Patriots at a plus 180. Point spread set at 4.5, and the total set at 43.5. Public bet percentage here, 91% of the bets, 96% of the money towards the LA Rams. For the point spread, 65% of the bets, 64% of the money towards the Rams to cover. And for the total points, 70% of the bets on the side of the over, but 53% of the money towards the under 43.5 in this game here. Looking at the injury report here for these two teams, a lot of Q tags on the Patriots side. Jacqueline Roy, all DNPs all week. He's trending towards not playing. Detrice Wise, D lineman, all DNPs. He's trending towards not playing. A bunch of other Q tags. Positive note there, Kyle Duggar looked like he's going to be back. Badarian Lowe looks like he's going to be back as well, all limited. Marte Mapu at safety and cornerback Alex Austin all trending towards playing, okay? For the LA Rams, we have Rob Havenstein, offensive tackle. He's going to be out. Neville Gallimore, D lineman. He's going to be out. Joe Noteboom at guard. He's going to be doubtful. Charles Woods out. And Byron Young questionable. And Josh Wallace questionable. So some big losses there on the offensive line for the LA Rams and Rob Havenstein and Joe Noteboom. But they looked decent once, despite the fact they had lost Joe Noteboom in that previous game. All right. Looking at these two teams right here, Rams coming off not a shocking loss, but a disappointing loss here against the Miami Dolphins at home on Monday Night Football. Now they're coming all the way over to the East Coast here, going up against the New England Patriots here, coming off a solid win against not even solid. They beat the Chicago Bears, who are literally going through a whole entire offensive change, okay? Shane Wald, they were able to take advantage of a very anemic offense there in the Chicago Bears and got a win 19-3. Previous week they lost to Tennessee and then had a very strong in-division outing against the Jets. All right, so this team has been very up and down. The bright spot for the Patriots is the fact that Drake May can create some type of offense here. They have a nice little 1-2 punch here. They have Drake May that can facilitate, and the run game in Ramondre Stevenson is mediocre enough. All right. But we have this team here in the Rams. Very, very good team. Had a little bit of a downfall against Miami. I think this is a bounce back spot. I think the points is too much here. Rams in Gillette Stadium, I don't see them covering by more than a field goal here. The 4.5 is just too many points. I think the value on the point spread is with the Patriots at home. I think they play well enough defense, and I think that Drake May can create enough to keep this game close. All right. Ultimately, I think Matt Stafford and that run game in Kyron Williams will just be a little bit too much here. Patriots have struggled against opposing running backs. Looking at the numbers, 27th overall, 27th in the red zone, giving up 117 yards a game and 4.6 yards per carry. All right, so that's what I think the Rams are going to lean on to get this W, but not cover the spread. So Rams on the money line. If you want value, Patriots plus 4.5. For the over-under, I am going to lean towards the under 43.5, and what I think is going to be a tightly contested game here between the Rams and the Patriots. Next up in Caesars Superdome, New Orleans Saints 3-7, going against the Cleveland Browns 2-7. Looking at the current odds right now, we have a dead heap here. Saints minus 110, Browns minus 110. This is pretty much a pick'em game here between these two teams. Total points set at 44.5. For the public bet percentage, 77% of the bets, 83% of the money all over the Saints. And then for the point spread, we have 64% of the bets, but 66% of the money on Cleveland to cover the one. So sharps are on the side of the Browns in the points, okay, which is only 1 point, so it's pretty much just choose the money line. For the total points, 59% of the bets and 52% of the money on the side of the under 44.5 total here. All right, injury report here between the Saints and the Browns. We have Lucas Patrick, O-lineman, out. Jamal Williams, backup running back, out. Q tag on Pete Werner, Q tag on JT Gray, Q tag on Eric McCoy, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Cedric Wilson, and Nephi Sewell. All right, for the Cleveland Browns, there's only one guy missing, and Mike Hall, D tackle. All right, so a lot of question marks here for the Saints, who's going to be in or out. Obviously, they gave up Marshawn Lattimore in the trade. This is a team that is selling and giving up this season as well. And this is a spot where the clear advantage is on the Cleveland Browns side. All the question marks with the wide receiver because the Saints are decimated at the wide receiver position there. Marcus Valdes-Scantling is not enough here when you're going up against the Cleveland Browns secondary and defense, period. They're top 10 across the board in every category. All right, and we got the homecoming of Jameis Winston in a motivated spot here, and I think they're going to put up a ton of points. All right, so I love the Browns here on the road. I think they have a ton of value. Very good parlay piece as well. We're going to go with a complete sweep against the grain here, against the board, pretty much. Main factor here, like I said, homecoming of Jameis Winston, and then New Orleans Saints against opposing running backs, 30th overall, 25th in red zone, giving up 113 yards a game and 5.2 yards a carry, 1.2 TDs a game. That means Nick Chubb. This should be a very good Nick Chubb game. They get him going, get Jameis Winston comfortable playing on play action, and they can really put a boot to behind against these Saints. So give me the Browns on the money line, Browns to cover the +1, and I think this is going to be the Browns got a good team. I see the Browns scoring, and I like the Browns over on the team total. I don't trust the Saints in scoring. I think that this defense can force Derek Carr into bad situations. So I'm going to go with the under 44.5, with mainly the side of the Browns scoring the points. Last but not least here in Acrisure Stadium, Pittsburgh Steelers 7-2. Going against the Baltimore Ravens here 7-3. We have an AFC North battle here for number 1 and number 2 between these two teams. Looking at the current odds, the Ravens are road favorites against the Steelers, -175, with the comeback of the Steelers at a +145. Point spread set at 3. Total points set at 48.5. All right, public bet percentage here, 77% of the bets, 57% of the money all over the side of the Ravens. The sharps are leaning slightly there on them with the money wise, 43% of that money towards the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay, for the point spread, 60% of the bets, 68% of the money on the side of the Steelers to cover this 3. And for the total points, 52% of the bets and money towards the under 48.5. Looking at the injury report here for these two teams, Alex Highsmith, the opposite pass rusher of TJ Watt, is going to be out of this game. Positive news, they get Nick Herbig, another one of their outside linebackers that are pass rushers, coming back in this game. So one is out, and then one comes back here to have help on the opposite side of TJ Watt. Michael Pruitt, backup tight end, he's going to be doubtful. CJ Henderson, cornerback, he's going to be out. And Q tags on Jalen Warren and Corey Trice, both trending towards playing. All right, Baltimore Ravens here, Q tag on Travis Jones, and Arthur Millette, veteran cornerback, is going to be out of this game. All right, so we have a classic AFC North battle between these two teams. Steelers have been an annoyance. Every time you think that you see an opportunity, you try to go against them, they continue to show up week in and week out. The acquisition of Russell Wilson has been absolutely phenomenal. It catapulted this team to being already great defensively, and then to match that, Russell Wilson has really maximized this offense here, the passing offense, and unleashed George Pickens. And that's going to be the big issue here for the Baltimore Ravens, because the main issue of the Ravens is stopping opposing quarterbacks. All right, so this is a great spot here for Russell Wilson to get cooking. All right, Baltimore Ravens, 31st in the league and 22nd in the red zone. They're giving up 315 yards passing to opposing quarterbacks, 2.1 TDs per game. Russell Wilson should be licking his chops for the opportunity in this game. All pass catchers are thumbs up here for the Pittsburgh Steelers, okay, across the board. All right, Pratt Freiermuth, George Pickens, Mike Williams. It's going to be a bonanza here, all right? The factor that's huge here is that the Steelers actually can stop the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens have been getting by with the fact that no defense. They've been facing poor defenses. Cincinnati's defense has been poor. They took advantage of Bo Nix in Denver. Denver has a solid defense, but we're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers here, who are very, very acquainted with Lamar Jackson here in this Baltimore Ravens team. And when these two go head-to-head, they really battle it out. Tampa Bay, they took advantage of that defense, and they took advantage of the Washington Commanders in that game as well. This is going to be a whole new can of worms here with this Pittsburgh Steelers defense, and TJ Watt is always an X factor. Minkah Fitzpatrick in the back. This one here is just too many points here in division matchup. Steelers at home, and I get them as an underdog. I'm going to be taking my chances with the +3. So give me the Steelers with the +3. If you want to sprinkle on the money line, you can. But I think the value there is in the number. So give me the +3 on the point spread. And for the total of 48.5, I'm going with the under 48.5 in this AFC North battle. All right, so those are going to be our selections for the early slate on Sunday. Let me know in that comment section down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? We can definitely debate about that down below. If you guys want to sign up for the Patreon, remember, you're getting access to daily bets, future bets, and access to that group chat that goes off 24/7. This is your boy, Chef D. I'll be back very soon, and peace out.